right, so today we're going to talk about some things that you can do to bring more attention to yourself to get recognized as a small freight broker. Because when you first get started, nobody knows anything about you. Nobody knows your name. So you have to bring attention to yourself, get recognized so that you can get business, so you can get customers. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to bring you inside this video and I'm going to show you things that you can do to bring more attention to yourself so that you can get recognized by your customers so that you can start moving loads. So come on inside and let's get down to the business. All right, so now we all know that we start usually by making cold calls. And cold calls are great. That's a part of what we have to do in order to start getting a customer base, but that's not all that we should do. If you've been cold calling, you know that there's a low conversion rate when it comes down to cold calling. So we don't want to just cold call. So here it is. One of the first things I want to tell you that you should be doing that you're probably not doing, because most new freight brokers are not doing it, and that is advertising. Where should you be advertising? Should you be advertising on social media? Because that's free. Absolutely. You should definitely be advertising there, but you can also do paid advertising on social media. And when you're doing paid advertising, you're doing a more targeted advertising at a specific type of customer. Another way that when you want to look at advertising is advertising in a magazine or something like this called Transport Topics. You can, of course, go to the classifieds and you can put in ads. And it's not very expensive to do that, but that is going to get your business name out in places where shippers go to, and that's to read about what's happening in the trucking industry, and that's Transport Topics. Social media advertising and doing advertising such as magazine advertisements or something like this as a Transport Topics, which is a newspaper. And don't forget, when we're talking about advertising, it's not about going in and spending a whole lot of money. Sometimes we get this idea that if we spend more money, then we'll get better results. But it's actually what you need to do is probably spend a very little amount of money up front so you can find out what works and what doesn't work. And then when you find out what works, then you can put more money behind what worked. The next thing that I think would be a great idea that's going to get your business recognized is to become a DBE. That's a disadvantaged business enterprise. If one of your owners own at least 51% of the business and that owner is a minority, African American, Hispanic, Asian American, if they own 51% of the business, you can qualify to be a DBE. The reason why DBE is such a great distinction to have is because now you can qualify for contracts that the bigger companies qualify for, and you have to be considered. So it's a really good idea to go out and take a look at DBE certification and see if you can qualify, because there's some great aspects of being a DBE certified business. All right, so next we want to talk about who's your best asset, who's your best friend as a freight broker in this industry, and that is without a doubt the truck driver. And what you have to do is be patient and listen sometimes. Sometimes truckers really want to talk, and you don't always have time to talk, but you should make time at certain times to talk to carriers. Why should you make time to talk to carriers? Because carriers know about the business. They know what's going on. They know about different places that they're dropping off and what type of freight they're dropping off. They know where brokers are working at, where brokers are getting freight at, because they're moving freight for those brokers. So you can really get some really good inside information if you would just be willing to listen to truck drivers. Let them do the talking and you do the listening. Don't try and out-talk your truck driver. Make time for him when you can so that you can listen to him, because I can guarantee you that the information that you get from your truck driver will help to make you a better freight broker. There's no two ways about that. So do yourself a favor, get a truck driver on your team, make him or her your friend, and learn from that truck driver. That's very important, very critical to your success as a freight broker. That is what's going to help you out and get recognized as a small freight broker, because he's going to give you the knowledge that you need. You can learn from him and apply it in your business and grow your business slowly, methodically over time. But get in touch, get close with truck drivers for certain. Another way that I think is really good way to get recognized as a small freight broker is to become really good at something. I know a lot of people think that it's good to be a jack of a lot of different trades, but I personally think that if you do something, that one thing, then you do it really well, you'll get recognized faster than you would if you just kind of do a lot of different things okay. If you do that one thing and do it really well, that is what's going to make you stand out. That is what's going to make you stand out amongst other freight brokers. So hone on and in on something. LTL, FTL, multi-pick, multi-drop freight. What is it that you do well? Drayage freight. And then you hone in on that, get better and better at it, and you'll get recognized a lot faster than you would, I think, than being a jack amongst a whole lot of different trades. The next thing that's going to help you get recognized more so as a small freight broker is to take on more responsibility. Don't be afraid of responsibility. Oftentimes people run away from the bigger responsibility because they are afraid that they'll fail. But that is the way that you get recognized. You get recognized because you solve the problems of your customer. And some of those are going to be problems that you're uncomfortable with. Some of those are going to be problems that you say to yourself, I don't quite have the answer to that. But you're going to need to accept some of that responsibility and learn as you go. Because when you solve your customers' problems, you definitely get recognized. That is one of the key ways that we get recognized as small freight brokers, solving big problems. So be willing to accept more responsibility. Always honor your word. Do what you say you're going to do every single time. Be known for doing what you say you're going to do. When you do that, you're going to get customers that look for you when things get tough, because you can do what you say you're going to do. A lot of times what we do as new freight brokers is we overpromise and we underdeliver. You don't want to do that. Do what you say you can do. Don't put yourself into situations and you're not quite sure whether you're going to be able to come through or not. Or if you're in that situation, just be straight up, be honest, and let them know. For example, if you're working a lane that you haven't worked before, and you don't know whether or not you're going to be able to get the load moved, you let the shipper know, hey, we're going to work on it. We haven't worked in this lane before, but I'll keep you posted and let you know if anything goes awry. Make sure you do that. That's very important, to always honor your word. Be known for standing by and doing what you say you're going to do. Next thing I want you to pay particular attention to is to be everywhere. Don't be afraid to get yourself out there, put your business in front of people, let people know what it is that you're doing. A lot of times when we first get started in a business, for some reason, we want to hide. We don't want our friends to know what it is that we're doing because we're a little bit embarrassed. We don't want, everybody to know that we're in business, because if we fail, then everybody won't know. But I would definitely suggest to you, get away from that thinking, put yourself out there, make sure that you know, or let everybody know what it is that you're doing. Get a Facebook page, get a LinkedIn page, all of the social media outlets, put your business out there and let people know what it is that you're doing. I think that's a very important step that you're taking, because then you're saying, hey, I have faith. I believe in myself. I believe in my business. So I'm going to let the world know that I'm in business. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there, to be everywhere that you can be. That's very critical. Definitely going to help you as a small freight broker to get recognized. At some point, you may want to consider a relationship with the TIA. That's the Transportation Intermediaries Association. It's a great organization. I think it's very important to be with the Transportation Intermediaries Association for a number of reasons. Number one, when you're with an organization like the Transportation Intermediaries Association, it is going to keep you up to date, on track with what's happening in your industry. So it's going to be hard for you to miss things unless you're just not keeping up with the industry, because they're going to make sure that you stay on top of things. So I think it's a good idea to consider that at some point. Now, of course, some expense comes with that. So you may want to be making money, get your business up and running before you consider something like that. But another good part of the TIA is some great training comes with it. I went to the TIA meeting when I first got started in my business, and that was a life-changing experience. It was a business-changing experience because of the people that I got to, to network with, and also to see the business on a big scale and how it works and how important it is to the industry. So I definitely think that it would be in your best interest at some point to take a look at getting in a relationship with an association like the TIA. So now, if you really want to get respect from a shipper, when you don't know the answer to a certain question, say you don't know. Shippers know when you're BSing, so don't go through this whole idea of thinking that you're going to BS the shipper. In most cases, shippers already know the answer to a lot of the questions that they ask you. Now, of course, sometimes you are the subject matter expert in a particular area, so you are going to be the one that knows the answers. But know for yourself that somebody else can tell when you're BSing. So don't go through that game of acting like you know something when you don't know it. You're going to win a lot of respect from shippers just saying, I don't know. Hey, I don't know right now, but I am going to go and look into that. And when I get an answer that's satisfactory, I'll get back with you. You're going to win a lot of respect when you do that. Don't try to be a BSer, because that's not going to get you very far at all. Now, of course, you may not implement all of the things that I've talked about here in this video today all at once, but certainly there are some things that you may want to take a look and start to implement in your business today, because the idea, what you want to do more than anything else, is to get recognized. Get recognized as a small freight broker so you can earn more business and earn more money. All right, so now that's what I wanted to share with you today. I certainly hope this information was helpful. If you want to learn more about the freight broker business, I'll leave my free link in the description. It's my 5-video series titled How the Load Movement Process Works. It will give you a look into the freight broker business, let you see how it works. That way you can make a decision in the light instead of in the dark. And then also, if you want to know how we go about finding the shippers, finding the customers that we do business with on a day in and day out basis, of course, I'm going to leave a free video right here. So until the next time, I wish you the very best in your life and business. See you at the very top, because the bottom is much too crowded.